Hi, I'm Isa Kirk and I created Black Hills Flower Essences, and this video is about 7 individual blends that I've made over the years, and I would like to introduce you to flower essences a little bit and those blends in particular. I'll switch over and show you the pictures of those blends. And this is Kundalini, Serenity, Peaceful Alignment, Breathe Easy, Massage Therapist, Energy Healer, and Emergency Relief Blend. There you go. So I put a little bit together about each individual blend, and so that you get an overview of what those blends are and what flower essences are and how they're created and all these kind of things. So, and I'm going to read it. So, unlike essential oils, flower essences, and as such, Black Hills flower essences resonate on the same levels as our feelings, a higher level than emotions, which are very closely related to our body, and bring clarity, which in return can assist to balance emotional, mental, and physical blockages, and sometimes immediately. And sometimes it takes a little longer depending on how deep anchored the blockage is. Shallow or labored breathing, for example, just for an example, since we've just been dealing with COVID for the couple of years, is first and foremost related to stress and flight and fear-based symptoms. Long before major tangible physical diseases are becoming evident. So lung diseases aren't created out of the blue. They usually come from a long history of fear-based panic responses that may go unnoticed, shallow breathing, and these kind of things. So there's always underlying emotional symptoms before anything manifests physically. And therefore, if we address the emotional and feeling symptoms, the symptoms that are deeply buried in our subconscious, we can level out the physical symptoms in the aftermath. Ingredients. Black Hills flower essences are purely plant-based energy with no physical parts of the plant remaining in the essence blend. It's truly energy. There's no physical part. It's not like chemical responses or any kind of other remedies. No herbs, no teas, nothing. There's no physical part in that blend. Just the energy. Just like our feelings don't have any physical component to them, the energy part that is similar to ours as feelings in the plant has no physical part to it. Blends are created from the more of 80 individual essences I created from wildflowers and trees found naturally in the Black Hills. So that's why I call them Black Hills flower essences. They're all from the area where I live. And the flowers and plants that grow in the area where you live are the most potent for your healing. It doesn't mean that you can't use anything from another part of the earth, but what grows in your neighborhood is what you require for healing and is the most potent for you. The carry element for this energy is water. Water carries our emotions, and it carries this kind of energy also. In my case, naturally alkaline homeopathic diluted Dr. Willard's water, which requires no alcohol and no preservatives. This water was found naturally in the Black Hills. It was naturally alkaline in the Northern Hills. It's coming through cold layers up to the surface, and then when it is cleansed and concentrated, this is what Dr. Willard was a chemist at the School of Mines. Found out it does not need any preservatives. It heals wounds, it heals burns, and it also changes the pH inside the body if taken on a regular basis. So my Black Hills flower essences blends are clear and they do not have any smell or taste. And I make all my essence blends and all my creams and other projects with that water because it doesn't require any kind of harmful chemicals, which is great. So how are they created? The plant's blossoms are placed in clear water and exposed for several hours to sunlight on a cloudless flower or air day. Now that goes with the moon zodiac. When the moon is in an air day, zodiac sign air day, this is when the energy is in the blossom of the flower mostly, and this is what I collect for the water. So I use those days to make flower essences as long as the sun shines and the sky is clear. So it takes a while to make all those essences, years, and I would say. The water is then drained. The blossoms return to nature in gratitude. The water is boiled and filtered. The containing energy is not affected by this process, which is only done for cleansing and water purification purposes. So I want to make sure absolutely there's nothing in there that could grow anything besides clear water. I don't want any other substance in there. The energy is not affected by that physical process. The remaining energized water, so-called the mother tincture, is stored in a sterilized brown glass bottle. So that's my base tincture, and then I make all my individual essences and my blends from those base mother tinctures. The testing of any essence blend is done by using a pendulum, going over all my individual essences while tapping into my higher consciousness. This state of mind, very similar to the energy flow during one of my intuitive readings, feels like the time just before drifting off or coming out of sleep. Not quite alert, yet very consciously connected and open to receive suggestions from the higher consciousness. This is also called the Yoga Nidra meditative state of mind. I found this to be the most healing state of mind, the most where our insights are the most clear, coming from our feeling level, from our soul level. And therefore, I trust the answers completely that are coming through me, because they do not come through my ego or through my mind. So how are flower essences used? Just like other homeopathic remedies, the energy is in each drop is the same. It doesn't get multiplied with taking more drops because it's not physical. The healing effect, however, is exponentially increased by taking or giving it more often, like 3 or 4 times a day, before a healing session or in the beginning of a day or during the day, depending. Really, the more often you take a homeopathic, the more effective it gets. It's the more we think about healing and being healed and having a healthy body, the more we reinforce this kind of energy coming into our body. Same as the other way around. The more you focus on being sick, the sicker you're going to get. Like attracts like. It's a universal law, and this applies to flower essence just as much as to any other medication or remedy or focus in our life. The healing energy, once focused on, affects not only the individual physical body, but also the non-physical body. Therefore, it is just as effective in the close vicinity around the body. So you can put this on your body, on your skin. You can put it on your tongue, in your body. You can apply it to the skin. You can wear it in a pendulum around your neck. And I have a healing method. It's called the health talisman, where the essence blend is going to be applied to a card, a little business card, and you put that in your wallet, and every time you open your wallet, whether you think about it or not, you're sending the message of healing back to your body. So it really applies to the subconscious mind more than anything. So here are the different individual essences that are made. Kundalini is the latest one. This blend was created to assist to harmonize our chakras, which are our energy gateways and communication centers, from the universal energy to our individual being, with our soul translating this energy into feelings. It encourages the once dormant Kundalini energy to awaken and rise within us from the base chakra to the crown chakra and beyond, to ultimately balance our entire being, the physical as well as the non-physical body, bringing it ever closer to ascension and enlightenment. Literally, we're getting lighter, our DNA is changing, and we're shifting and changing. The universal energy stream is optimal right now in this time for our time. as long foretold and known to us as revelation. Yeah, this is the time of revelation. We're right smack in it, and we can resist it and fight it and suffer for it, or we can go along with it. And flower essences definitely help with the going along rather than the resistance. Who is it for? Kundalini Flower Essence Blend is meant to be used for people who are seeking enlightenment and peace within, who are open to changing self into a peaceful warrior he or she was always meant to be. How to use. Just like other homeopathic remedies, the energy in each drop is the same. Apply several times a day into the area of the heart. This is the area where we are encountering our change most severely in these days. Some so severe that they think they have a heart attack just because the chakra is opening, and then the doctors don't find anything. The next blend I called Serenity. This blend was created with the Serenity prayer of St. Francis of Assisi in mind. God, grant me the serenity to accept the thing I cannot change, other people. The courage to change the things I can, myself. And the wisdom to know the difference. And this is a really important thing in these days. We cannot change another person. We can only change ourselves. And we have the power to change us. The notion of attempting to change other person is frequently based on the lack of understanding that no one can change another. Only our own example can create an opening in another person's heart to work on changing themselves. This blend gives us peace of mind whenever we lose faith in our own creative powers, when we are tempted one more time to make others change instead of creating positive changes in our own life. This is the whole quintessence. Who is it for? Serenity Flower Essence Blend is meant to be used for people who feel pressured by others or recognize that they themselves often turn to putting pressure on others, including bullying children. So this one really helps with children either that are bullied or the ones that are doing the bullying, to even out the tempers, to even out the temptation to do those things, to use those methods. Apply several times a day in the area of the heart. Again, this is the most important chakra at this time that undergoes changes. The next blend I made is called Peaceful Alignment, and this was created at the beginning of COVID because we really need to align with the shifts and changes that are happening on the planet, and the more peaceful, the better. This blend was created to assist mankind to peacefully move through the current changes and shifts in consciousness on our planet in this time, known as revelation, which affect all of humanity. No one is exempt. In this, it is meant to assist in remembering who we all are, without exception, truly are, always were since the beginning of dawn, divinely and unconditionally loved, created masters and co-creators with God. It's really time we remember who we truly are and who we're not. Who is it for? Peaceful Alignment Flower Essence Blend is meant to be used for people. Animals don't have this trouble because they never doubt that they're created in love and are unconditional love. They don't have any ego. They don't have any emotions. This is truly something that was reserved for humans in our evolutionary process and made our life very difficult over the centuries. Now it's time to make peace with it. This blend is especially effective when applied to the third eye chakra area between your eyebrows once a day before going to sleep in the evening or taking a nap. This is when we're most receptive to intuitive information from the universe while we sleep, when our ego sleeps. The next blend I made is Breathe Easy, and of course it was made for the onset of COVID, but it helps with any kind of breathing related symptoms or issues. A very potent and powerful blend, relaxing and soothing, positively affects all respiratory symptoms, lowering stress and fear levels. It was created at the onset of the pandemic in 2020 by combining several emergency flower essences from around the world, such as Bach Flower Rescue Remedy, Verata from Australia, ERB from the Blackhead's Flower Essences Emergency Relief Blend, the 5 flower essences from California, and several others, and specific individual blends that came up when I tested them that affect the respiratory effect. So this is meant for precisely when we have fear-based, when we have symptoms concerning our breathing and our lungs. Period. Breathe Easy Flower Essence Blend can be used equally for people as well as animals with labored breathing issues, either acute or chronic. So animals are very much affected by our own fear levels, and therefore we can affect them and help them too. How to use it. This blend is especially effective when applied to the throat chakra several times a day, or in acute panic and asthma situations multiple times within the first 10 to 15 minutes, or until the breathing has relaxed. I've never seen it to take more than 10 minutes. So the next blend that I made was the Massage Therapist, a blend created to enhance and balance the healing energy flow in the physical, mental, and emotional body of a therapist or healer, working predominantly with their hands on a patient or client. Anyone that touches another person has an effect on that person, whether they know it or not. It was created by combining several individual flower essences from the more than 80 single flower essence blends. Most of my blends, I go through my repertoire of more than 80 essences, and sometimes I add some others to it, depending on what shows up with the pendulum. Massage Therapist Flower Essence Blend can be used equally for people as well as animals. This blend is especially effective when applied to the hand and wrist pool chakra of the person. So we have side chakras all over the body, and one of the most effective, or one of the most important for a healer or anyone that works with a hand, is literally on the wrist and the palm and the wrist pool. This is a big pool of chakras, and if you apply your blends on both sides, this is where it has the most effect when working with your hands on other people. The next blend is called the Energy Healer, and this is one of the most powerful general healing blends I've ever created. Enhance and balance the energy flow in the physical, mental, and emotional body in a person, animal, or plants. Plants can be just as stressed. It's for the healer as well as the patient. This is really a general blend that has been energized multiple ways and really just helps in general. And you don't have to know what's going on if you just, it addresses all sorts of issues, the most predominant issues first, which not necessarily means this is the most severe symptoms first. It addresses all the issues behind them first. It's the Energy Healer can be used equally for people as well as animals, and for plants that I've stressed or have been under with funguses or with diseases, stressed out or transplanted, and all these kind of things. How to use. The healer may apply it to his or her hand and wrist pool chakra before a healing session. Otherwise, it can be taken or applied anywhere on the skin. Really, any essence can be in the vicinity of the body and is working, as long as we focus on the healing effect, drawing the energy in, visualizing how the energy is drawn in into our physical and non-physical body. Our power of visualization is very effective. So, and then the last blend that I made, and that was one of the first blends I actually made years ago. It's called ERB, or Emergency Relief Blend. A powerful, calming, and equalizing blend, especially effective during physical, mental, and emotional emergencies. So this is truly a blend when we have an energetic shock. From the bad phone call to the nearby accident, to having somebody else in our group have an accident or a medical emergency, anything that rattles our mind, this energy blend will immediately calm the situation for all involved. ERB Flower Essence Blend can be used equally for people as well as for animals, and dogs, for example, when they're stressed out during New Year's Eve, and plants that are under highly stressful situations because they maybe were exposed to too cold or too warm, or soil that wasn't likely for them, or had been added something to them that they shouldn't have. And plants can be just as stressed as animals and people. Panic, shock, emotional, mental, or physical level stress. It has proven time and again to assist in even the most difficult situations, such as excessive fear and anger outbursts, seizures, heart attacks, stroke, panic attacks, hyperventilation, injuries, and shock. And having a campground, we've had a couple of those, and every time I used this, or when I was riding horseback, you never know what happens, it was really helpful to calm animals and people, all that were involved, down, because that heightened fear-based energy doesn't help anyone, especially not the patient. Just like other homeopathic remedies, each drop is the same. So one drop really helps, but it's most effective, exponentially effective, when given more than once. So in case of an emergency, as often as every 30 seconds until the person or animal show signs of calming and relaxing. I've never had it take more than 10 minutes. A drop or two can be taken orally or simply applied to the skin. And that's for children or for animals or for plants. Of course, you just apply it on the skin. You don't have to force it inside anywhere. So those are those 7 essences. If you want to see more videos about myself, or about the general information about flower essence, or about those almanac calendars that I write, the moon zodiac calendars, you'll find them on my channel on YouTube. I also make a weekly little video chat where I talk about the next week, how to read those calendars that I write, for example. And then there'll be lots more videos in the future about the kits that I make, about the individual blends, the flower essence kits, and the therapy that I offer, which is a combination of a hands-on healing that I learned a long time ago, and the combination with a personal flower essence blend, as well as a little reading afterwards, which explains what happened, what came up, what showed up, or when people still have questions that they have not resolved at this point. So look for more. It's on my video channel, Isa Kirk. You can ask me any question you like. You can text me and email me. You can contact me over Facebook. My email is isaisa@gwtc.net. Feel free to ask any questions. These bottles that I created are half ounce bottles, and are those blends are usually sold for $24.95. They're all listed on Etsy in my shop there, which is called BH, Black Hills Flower, BH Flower Essences. You'll find some of the kits there, you'll find the calendars there, and you'll find those individual blends there, and some of the explanation. And I will add this video to each blend to you, so that you can find it again when you're on Etsy. This is it for now. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you sometime later.